We live in a culture that prizes the massive overhaul. When we want to lose weight, build a business, or get our lives together, we assume that significant outcomes require earth-shattering actions. We try to flip a switch overnight. The winners and the losers in any given field share the same goals. Their paths diverge because of the specific mechanisms they use to reach the finish line. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Struggling to change a habit is rarely a sign of a character flaw. It is a sign of a poorly designed system. If you want to play a long-term game, you need a strategy that survives when your willpower runs dry. This chart shows how choices compound. Getting 1% better daily makes you 37 times better in a year. A 1% decline drops you to 0. But the early section is flat. Tiny changes yield no immediate results, making it easy to slide back. James Clear calls this dead zone the plateau of latent potential. You are putting in the work, but the payoff is currently stored in the system, waiting to be released. To survive this phase, you have to detach yourself from the immediate outcome. Progress happens only when you commit to the daily system itself. A habit is an automatic solution to a recurring stressor. Your brain automates these routines to save energy for more complex problems. This sequence follows 4 distinct stages. First, a cue triggers the brain. That creates a craving, which leads to a response or action, and finally, a reward. Your brain catalogs this sequence every time it works. The 4 laws of behavior change allow us to influence this biological sequence by adjusting the variables at each stage. Law 1 is make it obvious. Instead of relying on internal motivation, you design your physical environment. Putting your running shoes in the middle of the hallway ensures the cue is impossible to ignore. To break a bad habit, you make the cue invisible. Hiding the television remote in a drawer or deleting distracting apps removes the trigger before the craving even starts. Law 2 is make it attractive. We are evolutionarily wired to chase satisfaction. The more appealing an action feels, the more likely the brain is to repeat the loop. Redesigning your environment is more effective than summoning willpower because it neutralizes the cue and the craving before you have to make a conscious decision. Law 3 is make it easy. Human behavior follows the path of least resistance. To start a new habit, you must reduce the friction standing between you and the action. This is the 2-minute rule. When you start a new routine, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed scales down to read 1 page. This overcomes the initial friction of starting. You have to standardize before you can optimize. If you cannot master the simple skill of showing up for 2 minutes, you have no hope of mastering the finer details later. Law 4 is make it satisfying. Behavior that is immediately rewarded is repeated. This is the cardinal rule of behavior change. Our brains prioritize immediate gratification. A small,